Welcome back. So joining us in the studio is Victor Ani-laju, who is the founder and CEO of ePay, an electronic payment solutions provider, the brain behind the welfare card, a payment card for the less privileged. Welcome, Mr. Victor.
Thank you. Thank you for
having me. I'm sure you
me.
heard the conversation earlier on.
Yeah, I
joined
did.
Us.
I did.
What do you think about the eNaira?
Okay. So, thank you for having me. Nice being here today, seated among beautiful ladies. Right. What I want to say is this is not what we expected from CBN.
Oh.
This is not what, in fact, CBN want to take over our business. What they are offering us now is what we are already doing. We thought we were going to see something different from what is already in place. So that's just my own personal thought, because I already know what is going on. And I know that as of today, what they are offering, all banks, majority of the payment solution offer same. Our own ePay platform offer same. All banks, just like you were asking, your bank already gives you that app that you can use, do your electronic transactions, pay all your bill, transfer money, and so on and so forth.
What you offer is not different from what they're asking, because what they're saying is they want to give us an equivalent of Naira on internet, eNaira. But what you're giving us is app payment solution. So I can choose to want to pay $1 and you can provide that.
Yep.
But what CBN is dealing with is exclusively Naira. Is that not what they're saying?
So which even makes it more even looking like they are going backward.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like they're going backward, because how do I get to load my eNaira? It's still from my bank account.
Okay.
I heard him say it's for them to reach their own bank. That's not true. The eNaira requires you to have a BVN. And if you don't have a bank account, you can't have a BVN. Do you understand what I'm saying? To me, let me just say it the way it is. I just feel some people needed to make money from this country and set up another existing platform. Just let them tell us how much they used to set it up.
Mr. Jima, can you hear that, sir?
So we will now know, or tell us something.
I hear Victor very well.
Let them tell us something different. And before I leave here, I want to say what I thought as an expert in the electronic payment, what I've been there for the past 15 years, right? What I was expecting to see from CBN was something equivalent to the Bitcoin.
Is this not what it is?
It's not what it is.
Can you respond to this, sir, Mr. Jimo?
Well, I heard Victor, and basically what I see is that he hasn't got a full gist of what a central bank digital currency is. We call it eNaira, but the concept basically is a central bank digital currency. And the objective is, basically to digitize your currency. Yes, what you have in banking, in your banking system today, you can pay, you already have your money there. The liability of the money you have is with the commercial banks. The Naira you have in your pocket today, the physical Naira you have in your pocket today, the liability is actually on the central bank. And it is the electronic form of it that we're bringing out. Central bank is still charged with the responsibility of minting and issuing Naira. We are doing the electronic copy. And that's why I said the banks will still distribute it. You have a ledger, you have a blockchain, you have a distributed system that we use to keep that money with you, with the central bank. Basically to manage a central point of issuance, and then for the distribution with the commercial banks. So if you talk about on the banks and say, oh, those who do not have BVN will not be catered for, in our 3-tiered KYC, if you have read it, Victor, you realize that Tier 1 does not require BVN. As we are today, you don't need to have a BVN to open a bank account. The requirement is for you to have a phone. Once you have a phone that has been verified with your NIN, you can open a bank account. So you actually don't need a BVN to open a bank account.
Which bank?
Every bank.
Wow.
If you have a phone, once you have a phone, an active phone, you can walk into any bank or a mobile money operator and open a Tier 1 account.
Tier 1?
Tier 1 account does not require a BVN. Yes, it doesn't require a BVN.
But it's limited.
Tier 1 basically is because we haven't done full KYC on you, so we limit the transactions that you can do, and we also limit the amount of money that you can keep because we don't have a complete background about you. But at least you have been brought into the financial system.
Okay. So I wanted to ask earlier before we went on the break, what guarantees do you have for data security? Because internet, that's what a layman understands. I don't want you to be like one body who told us they were backing up our data on the clouds in another country. So what exactly are you giving? What's the data security for this platform, for this application?
Well, the data security basically is about the cryptographic system that is used to wrap the data. That is very, very difficult for anybody to crack in. That's basically, and then the fact that it's running on a distributed system where the central base is not concentrated. So the risk of concentration has been taken away, of having your data in one place, where when that system is hacked or destroyed, you lose everything. Your data is replicated across several nodes in the world. And so that's why it's a cloud thing, because you don't have the data in one place. Yeah, basically. So it's spread across, and the encryption mechanism to make sure that nobody can eavesdrop or break into your data or your privacy is so high with the kind of technology used.
What do you have to say, Mr. Victor?
I'm sure Victor understands what I'm saying.
Do you understand, sir?
I have an understanding of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
I have an understanding of digital banking system.
Okay.
And the question we should be asking, what is the difference of eNaira to the day-to-day digital banking system? Which is, there is no difference. There is no difference. Ask anybody, pay money, receive money, transfer money, pay for items. We have been doing that. So that's why I'm shocked. Like, I think CBN need to really have a team of think tank young people that will help them create something that is widely acceptable, if not globally, but all over Africa. That's just part of what we expected. And something that will be the future Nigerian currency or the future African currency. That's what we're expecting. As we speak today, a Bitcoin is over $40,000 to a Bitcoin. And in 2009, when Bitcoin started, Bitcoin was just about 8 cents. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It was just about 8 cents. So every year, as the time is going, it keeps increasing, and they are making money. That was what we were expecting to see from CBN.
So give us a form of our own Bitcoin?
Yes. Oh. That can be acceptable, if not globally, but in Africa. Especially now that we now have these trade-free agreements with African countries. So we expect CBN to have gone ahead as a think tank institution to create that currency and bring it back to Africa and say, okay, let's start using this.
This is our own.
This is our own. That was what we were expecting. You just brought us an e-wallet. The first time I created an e-wallet was 2007. It's like you are taking us...
As an individual?
As an individual, which I created from inside my father's house. So you are taking us back. To me, I want to advise, if CBN, they can hear, just pipe low. Get experts like myself and the likes of, you can go to Abeg, you can go to Paystack, get some
those young guys.
Those young guys, put them together and let's discuss. We will come out with something Nigeria,
befitting
Nigeria, and something that can be acceptable all over Africa. Because you know what I'm saying is, our currency is going down.
Yes, it is.
When we heard that CBN was going to come up with this, we thought that CBN was going to come up with something.
That will give us hope.
That will give us hope. So if you are going to create another currency, let's say cryptocurrency, it's supposed to have a higher value. Right? So that as our currency is going down, you are systematically migrating us or shifting us into that currency that have a more higher value. which is what Bitcoin is about doing. In time to come in the future, you might not have a physical currency. Most persons would have migrated to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin moves that the more the demand, the more the value increases. That's what we should be looking at doing for Africa, not giving us another...
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Miriam has a question.
So, like you too, even before it was announced, I thought the CBN was going the way of cryptocurrency. I make fun of it every time I say, oh, the CBN banned cryptocurrency so they can bring out their own version. So it seems that that is not the case. And also, the way you have explained it to me, it seems as if this particular e-money is supposed to bypass banks. So in order for us to, you know, not pay those charges. Okay, so the advantage that I'm seeing, or the benefits I'm seeing, is that you would not pay all those levies and charges. Like today we took the 2%, the 3%, because we'll be dealing directly with CBN in this case. Is that what it is? Because that is what I'm getting. That's the only benefit I'm seeing.
No.
I would like,
banks.
yes, I would like Mr. Jimo to
respond.
respond to this, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. First, let me clarify the ambiguity that Victor is trying to create there, and I think he'll be patient enough to listen to me. eNaira, which is a central bank digital currency, is not a cryptocurrency. There are two different things. I know, there are so many terms that are used in the public: cryptocurrency, virtual currency, digital currency, and all of that. This one is a central bank digital currency, a currency that is by a monetary authority. It has the sovereignty of Nigeria. Unlike cryptocurrency, like the Bitcoin and Ethereum, that do not have ownership. People just come together in a group and they create a network and they create the coin. And it's not backed by any asset. And it's, the price changes due to the vagaries of even individuals. If, for example, and someone goes to Twitter today and says, oh, okay, like Jeff Bezos goes to Twitter today and says, oh, I'm not going to be accepting cryptocurrency to buy anything on Amazon again. The cost of cryptocurrency will come. When China says we are banning cryptocurrency, in the whole of China and all that, cryptocurrency coin, the price will crash. So that one, the price changes due to the vagaries of individuals. It's not backed by any asset. That's not what we are doing. And we're not competing with cryptocurrency. That is a different network. We're talking about currency that is backed by the monetary authority of any country, that the country that has issued it and therefore acceptable. In terms of usage, which you mentioned, the diaspora, remittances and cross-border remittances, that is a use case that will bring itself online as acceptance within the country and other countries come to being. There is actually a project that is going on now, which is the Pan-Africa Payment and Settlement System. And basically the objective is to allow all African countries to be able to interject, to buy and sell and do currency exchange without going through the vagaries of dollars. So I should be able to spend my Naira to pay someone in Ghana, for example, and somebody in Ghana should be able to spend his cedis to pay somebody in Nigeria. There is that project that is going on. And we're going to leverage on this CBDC to be able to do that. Ghana is also working on CBDC. By the time all of the African countries have implemented CBDC, all of us will simply, simply integrate, and then transactions can continue to happen. And therefore, the fluctuation that our currency, is faced now, which makes our currency, go up and down and all that, will be reduced because, if I will just bind everything that I need with Naira, I don't need to seek for dollars again. So the pressure on dollars to pay for goods and services across the shore will go down. That's basically the objective, in addition to the financial inclusion objective that I also enumerated.
Yeah, please, could you answer what I was saying about bypassing banks and dealing directly with CBN?
Well, yes. Technically, because the wallet you create is on the CBN system, but you're not bypassing banks because you still be doing your transaction through the banks. You can transfer your eNaira to a bank account. You can bring your bank account to an eNaira. It all depends on which channel is safe for me, which one is convenient for me, where do I pay more, where do I pay less, which one has speed, which one is available. Creating alternative means of payment is not something that is bad for the economy. We're just making our payment system more pervasive and more acceptable. So introducing a central bank digital currency where central bank will stop, or to a certain degree, reduce the minting of physical naira, creates an economic benefit to the country. And that's what we want to basically translate to the benefit that users will get when they use eNaira, because cost of transaction will go down.
Go ahead, Lima.
So there are a lot of comments online. So I think people got you clear when you said eNaira wasn't the same as cryptocurrency. But why don't we have a Nigerian version of the cryptocurrency is what most of our viewers are asking.
No, we can. Cryptocurrency is not issued by any government. No government issues cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency are individual implementation. They are individual implementation. Nobody issues it. Our own is the central bank digital currency.
Mr. Victor.
Yes. The technology behind it is what makes the similarity, because both technology will use cryptography to wrap the transaction so that it's very hard to crack. And then you place the database on a distributed ledger so that you don't have one point of failure. Yeah. But the issuance and the objectives are different. A central bank digital currency or any central bank digital currency, apart from Nigeria eNaira, has the backing of the country. It is your Naira. It is a legal tender. It is your Naira you are holding in electronic form. I don't know who the founder, of course, we have a pseudonym called Satoshi Nakamoto, but you don't know which country, where the coin is being minted from. You don't have any consumer protection to it. If you lose your Bitcoin today, please tell me which government or which country or which authority are you going to report to? If you have any issue with Bitcoin, tell me. You don't have that protection, but your eNaira is the liability of eNaira is on the Central Bank of Nigeria. And so if anything happens to your eNaira, it is central bank's money that we're talking about. And therefore, consumer protection is provided, which is why we are working with banks to also provide support. It's the money that will be flowing within the banking industry in tandem with the system that we also have in the CBN. So it's an ecosystem. We're not detaching the banks. We're just using the banks as the partner for the distribution, because even as we are today, you don't go to CBN and say, CBN, please, I want to withdraw money, give me Naira. You have to go to your bank. Banks are the institution that we use for the distribution of our physical Naira. And so we're also using them for the distribution of the electronic Naira.
Thank you, Mr. Jimo.
It's about introducing another channel that makes it very convenient for Nigerians.
Okay, I'll let Mr. Victor respond. We are wrapping up now.
Okay. Wow. So what I want to see here, these are my expectations from CBN. Number one, our Naira is going down. You have to invent any other currency. It should be to strengthen our currency. And with what he had just explained, it's what banks are already doing. I hate to repeat that, so that Nigerians will know. But to me, an undertone of it is like, I think there is an agenda to take over banks from private individuals to government. And if I'm lying, they should prove it wrong. Because with what we are seeing right now, we know the next step will not be that every online transaction will be done by the eNaira.
Are you preempting them?
I'm saying it because I see no reason why the eNaira was established in the first place.
Okay, so maybe that's a challenge. I have another question. Maybe Mr. Jimo can answer. But
I see no reason.
Add to this.
Very short question.
Yes, so to add to this, I think Mr. Jimo may want to respond to that, which is, if we're still going to use the banks would normally just have their charges. So that no charge may not work if the banks are involved. That's one. 100%. Secondly, if it's Naira to Naira, physical Naira to e-money, exactly the same value, how do you make sure people like me will be thinking then there's no need to get in? So are there measures, are there ways to incentivize people to get on that platform
and use the eNaira?
The eNaira.
A brief response, sir. Mr. Jimo.
Yes, thank you very much. Again, let me reiterate that your own eNaira is equal to your physical Naira. There is no arbitrage, there is no exchange rate. So what you are holding is like your physical Naira that you have in your pocket. That's basically it. Yeah. The banks are under the supervisory control of the central bank. And so, we work together to drive regulation, including even, limiting the fees that the banks charge. Because, we're a nation driving financial inclusion where we want to bring a lot of people into the financial sector. So cost is a major deterrent, and that's why we are working on how we can bring down cost. one of the cardinal objectives of the cashless policy, which we launched in 2012, is also to see how we can digitize our Naira and have more of electronic transactions and all that. Again, central bank has not taken the intermediation responsibility of the banks. And I'm sure that's what Victor wanted me to say. Banks will still continue to disintermediate. They will continue to perform their roles. We're not taking that responsibility from them, which was why we'd never make sure that central bank is the one distributing the Naira to the individual. The banks will be the one that will continue to do the distribution. So it's an ecosystem, a symbiotic relationship between the commercial bank and the central bank to see that this digital Naira, which is eNaira, is issued as we used to issue the physical one and distributed through the banks. The banks will still continue to have their roles. And that's why, like I said, we'll get to a point where people will see the benefit and they themselves will come and say, I need eNaira.
Thank you, Mr.
Because that
Jimo.
we used to get to a point, for example, okay,
Let
me just finish this talk. There was a time in this country where a lot of people, never had the opportunity of using their phones to make electronic transactions. You have to walk to a physical branch. In fact, a point where you can only do your transaction from the branch where you open your account. Digitalization, innovation has brought us to where we are today, and innovation continues. So as somebody who calls himself an ePayment expert, I expect that he would have done some research on what a central bank digital currency is.
All right, Mr. Victor, can you quickly respond to this? We have to go.
Sir, before I came up here, I've gone through it. I even went through my own particular bank to know how it works with bank. But there is still no, from what you just said, there is still
You still don't see any difference?
There is no difference. The only undertone I'm seeing about it is, it's like a referee wearing the jersey of a player to play game. That's what I'm seeing here. Because what you are offering us, our banks already have given us those offers. So I thought he would have been able to tell us this is the difference between your bank digital transactions and the eNaira. But my expectation is what will happen to our Naira in the future. We needed to see a new currency from CBN.
Yeah, thank you so much.
In the future will give us a better value.
Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much, Mr. Jimo. I think the CBN needs a lot of information to go out there to convince Nigerians to adopt this eNaira. And thank God we have eNaira right now. That's all we can take for today. Join us tomorrow. Bye-bye.